And we are here almost through the full work week. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, and welcome to Things You Might Not Have Heard. That was not impressive. Where we will bring you yesterday's latest information in politics and current events and pop culture. We want to be your go-to source for the unconventional stories that are missed by the mainstream media. And because of that, we have a nickname for ourselves, your news side piece, taking good care of your news needs the national anchors may have missed. Of course, teaser graphic, we're talking about Dionne Warwick. This is a story that is one of the legendary stories that makes her legendary. And it's a story from Snoop Dogg about how she put them being a bunch of rappers in her place back in the day. So we'll get to that plus 7 other stories from the past 30 hours that you guys vetted and then I curated for the story that fit in the narrative and time here. So we'll explain how that vetting process happens. Give us about 12 minutes. You'll see how that works out. But for more information about what goes on behind the scenes and sometimes in front of the cameras here for the Conversation Project, visit our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Headlines, 8 big headlines vetted by you, curated by me, on the way, starting right now. First one up, social media praises ESPN's Dan Orlovsky on-air prayer for Damar Hamlin, quote, powerful, brave, and genuine. What do you do when you have a bunch of hours to fill with television and you have to do something that's pretty much not anything palatable, going over replaying the incident, replaying the accident, and talking about how because of this a lot of chaos is happening, the most important thing being a man's life, the important things about the business now is sort of a state of flux, what to do. Well, what you do, you kick things off by you saying a prayer. You take hopes, dreams, prayers, and love to a next level. And a real live ESPN analyst, a TV guy, stopped his rabble rousing for a moment and gave a prayer for Damar Hamlin on air. I guess this was 2 days ago at this point. A lot of people on air and social media praising the call, praising the action from Dan Orlovsky, who showed that he was human. A lot of people showed their humanity for good and for ill in the past couple of days. And this is one case where someone just stopped and took, like we said, prayers and thoughts and prayers to another level and gave a little prayer right there. A lot of people gave lots of prayers. A lot of people gave a lot of insight on what's going on. I saw a clip someplace about a person talking about Damar Hamlin saying that he's only been played for 2 years in the league. He's not even vested to get anything for a pension. He's not vested for very much for a disability plan, which was knocked down from $22,000 to $4,000 a month in last collective bargaining. There's a back and forth on whether the players are giving up too much or whether the owner is just too greedy. It's a whole lot of struggle going on there. Right now, there are prayers for the recovery of Damar Hamlin. Once he is, awake and speaking and hopefully back to being mobile again, let's deal with all those issues at that point. Our next story for this morning is this one. Headlines reads, Twitter sued for $136,000 in overdue rent in San Francisco office. Elon Musk's Twitter has been sued for failing to pay rent on one of its office spaces in San Francisco, according to a complaint filed by landlord Columbia REIT. Musk did not immediately respond to emails from the press to get this one. This link we pulled from USA Today. He didn't talk to them about this one. So remember, Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion and started saying, hey, people need to come to work. People need to stop not working, doing whatever, and to kind of justify what's going on. I guess this is one justification. If you're not paying rent for a building because nobody's there, then you probably should either get people there so you can pay the rent or just stop paying the rent. Apparently, they stopped paying the rent. And the fix for that would be to bring people back and make more money, pay more money, or let them stay at home and work from there and do what they're going to do. Lease less expensive space. Who knows? We'll see how Musk is going to play this one out going through. As you said, no comment immediately on this, but there is a suit for that. We have a couple suits coming on. Next suit is this one right here. Man who accused Todd Chrisley of sexual affair going after reality star's wife, Julie, for $167,000 as stars prepare for prison. The headline is a whole bunch, but here's the short version of that. The man's name is Mark Braddock. He was a former business partner of Todd Chrisley. He accused Todd of trying to have sexual relations with him. Todd has, of course, denied that. What's happening here is there's a separate suit where there was a settlement between Braddock and Julie Chrisley that was about $112K, bumped up to $167K. He says that hadn't been paid. And of course, the Chrisleys are reporting to jail sometime this month for all the shenanigans they do that aren't on TV going forward. That's what we're looking at here. Whether this guy is grifting or piling on, we shall see. Whether this is going to be a big deal, we shall see. Right now, we just know that Todd and Julie are going to jail for their respective times. They probably won't do full time because no one does full time. And the biggest question everybody really cares about is their adopted granddaughter, who's going to be in the custody of their daughter for the time being. That's how that's going to happen. Let's move on to story number 3, another lawsuit. And this one may sound familiar. 1968's Romeo and Juliet actors sue Paramount for child abuse over film's nudity. Why does it sound familiar? Because another similar suit is going through right now. Brooke Shields is suing the people who built the Blue Lagoon, which is essentially how she got her start, what got her into the thing. And because all the weird sexual innuendo and nudity from that movie. I don't remember 68's Romeo and Juliet, but I remember the Blue Lagoon and that being a thing. Didn't get a chance to see it because, I was like, 4. But I remember that being a thing going on for a long time. Also, the Jordache commercials sort of ran in as well. The adaptation of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet starring Olivia Hussey and Leonard Whitney is arguably the most watched film in high school. So maybe I did get to see. Maybe we did watch that version in high school. But now they are suing because of the nudity of them being child actors and essentially all the just stuff that actors were put through back in the day. We'll keep an eye on this one, see how this one plays out further down the road. The next headline: Salesforce lay off 10% of staff and cut office space. Similar to the issue that we talked about with Twitter above, but this is a big old number. Salesforce's sales grew 14% in the latest quarter, the slowest pace in years, and it's projected even slower growth in the current quarter. So right now, dollars aren't up. 10% of the staff and the office space is a lot of people. About 2,000 jobs essentially is going to be cut out of in the San Francisco office, going to kill off some office space. We will see how this plays out in coming weeks as well. Jobs aren't necessarily safe right now, even though we're at the beginning of a year because of the end of the year's activities and actions. We'll see how this plays out business-wise and personal-wise as well. Quickly, Mega Millions jackpot soars to nearly $1 billion after no winner on Tuesday's night drawing. Jackpot is set to be was estimated to be $448.3 million. That's what it was before. No winner. It's going to be about $1 billion come tomorrow. The Tuesday drawing featured nearly 3 million winning tickets for prizes from $2 to $4 million. 6 tickets matched the first 5 numbers. That was a $1 million win right there. So it got close. This is a week where it got really close, but nobody actually won the whole big shebang. That means there'll be a big run on the stores going through the next couple of days to Friday to see if somebody can pull that $1 billion. I can tell you, I'm going to grab one ticket, because it's just $2 thrown away as opposed to life savings. Because remember, everyone can play, but you're not going to win. Someone will win. It just isn't going to be you, as we saw last night. A lot of people won a lot of stuff. Nobody won the big one. Representative should say, Anna Paula Luna fights rival Michael Tito over witchcraft accusation. We've been here before. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, a Florida Republican, is waging a legal fight with a would-be rival who leveled a series of outlandish allegations against her on the radio show. Luna has retained the high-profile lawyer firm of Holland and Knight, there you go, to fight the accusations. The accusations: she's a witch. That's it. She's a witch. She practiced witchcraft. She howls at the moon, all the other whatever. But her the guy who lost the election to her, Michael Tito, is saying she's a witch. She's a witch. She's a witch. And Paula Luna, last name Luna, saying, I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch. We've dealt with this before in Congress where members have been accused of witchcraft. I don't think those members actually stuck around very long, but it's whatever. They've got bigger things to deal with right now, as opposed to the fact that there is no Congress because they can't figure out how to vote for somebody in charge. They can't get a class president. So I don't think this is going to be the biggest thing going on, but lawsuits are lawsuits, and we'll keep up with that one, as insane as it happens to be. Snoop Dogg recalls how Dionne Warwick forced a group of 90s Death Row record rappers to her home for a 7 a.m. intervention where she berated them for using misogynist misogynistic lyrics, I always mess that up, and made the team call her a bitch. If the headline doesn't tell you what you need to know, there's something wrong with you, period. I mean, here's some of the details. Snoop opened up about a scary meeting that they had back in the day in the new CNN documentary on Dionne Warwick, Don't Make Me Over. Dionne Warwick, of course, now 82, back in the day, invited both Snoop Dogg and Tupac and Biggie and a bunch of other big time guys at the time. Um, and then she just basically blasts them for all the lyrics. Just, why are you calling these women these things? Why are you all this stuff? Why are y'all drinking and smoking, whatever? And then she made them call her a bitch to her face. It's a powerful moment, powerful story. And it also is one of those things that is, tells a tale of a person who just doesn't give an F, who, she was at that point, musical royalty, and you couldn't touch her there. And she had the right to talk to these guys and say, look, you guys may be popular with the kids and making a lot of money, but why you got to talk like that? It's not good look, not bad role models, things like that. Did it fix it? Absolutely not. But Snoop Dogg did recall that story, and it's one of those things that set him straight mentally, especially in putting the thought process that, we got daughters. That was the big thing that was really a push on that. You may not care about some other lady out there, but care about your daughters and what they're going through, what they hear, and when people call them that. And that was something that was pretty telling to him. Let's get teasing. Why don't we? We're going to tease this story. It's going to come out in about an hour, I think. We had a bunch of shuffling of some things popping in there. But here's a story that, if you're not caught on to it, will probably make you scratch your head a little bit or just sound like business as usual. CNN hires just retired GOP Representative Adam Kinzinger. Yesterday, in the middle of the deliberations on voting for a speaker that didn't happen, I heard the voice of Adam Kinzinger pop up in there, and I was like, "Well, that makes sense. He's not there anymore." For a moment, I thought he was like there on the floor speaking and something like that, because he's not particularly done with office since they can't swear in the new Congress. But then I realized that he was actually speaking at his new job as a talking head for CNN. CNN has a habit or MO or whatever of hiring people that get ousted for things pretty darn quickly for stuff. They may not stay there very long, but they do get there pretty quickly. Of course, they bring in a lot of former staff members that work in Trump organization because, they have insight because they kind of hate Trump, and they bring them there for a while and they groom them for a bit. And then they start doing other things there as well. Most famous is the former director of the FBI that was fired. Actually, both of them showed up on CNN a bit, and as common contributors. It's a thing. It's a something. I probably went even longer than I should have in the tease part right here, but let's tell you why we teased it and why the point of this is. This is where we talk about the whole feeds thing and helping us vet the stories. Go to the websites for Facebook and Twitter. For Twitter, it's twitter.com/th_conversation. For Facebook, it's facebook.com/this, this is a conversation project. That's what it is. That's what it says in the Chiron scrolling beneath me. And go there and look for these stories as they post every 50 minutes. We have a new news story posting about every 50 minutes that we want you to engage in. We want to see what you think about it, see if it's worthy of conversation. That means liking it, loving it, hating it, sharing it. And the higher the engagement it gets, better chance we have of talking about it on the next day. Now, as we said, we curate down some of the top stories. So tomorrow for Friday, we're going to take the top 15 out of about somewhere between 30 and 35 stories that we'll get throughout that day. And we will gotta get that cough button installed. Take the top 15 of those, and then we'll whittle them down to 8 stories specifically for you here to listen to or read or watch for the day. What will make the cut? You help us out by going to the feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Now I want you to go to our website. This is conversationproject.com/sponsors, and check out some sponsors that may help you get some things done. In this brand new year, we're offering up the sponsor for the day. Our main sponsor is it is AppSumo, which you can find our affiliate link at this is a conversationproject.com/AppSumo. What is AppSumo? AppSumo is the best place to get discounted prices on apps and programs to be more productive, have more fun, get more things done. I've been a consumer of apps for basically as long as they've been open. I've been buying things here or there, and they are a backbone, and it's also a very scary source for the accountant to see when I go by there and see some brand new apps that are perfect for us, and I just buy them outright. The good news is most of these things are either one-time lifetime purchases or very, very big discounts for a full season, full year of purchases, and they're very good. They're rivals to other great programs, or sometimes, as in the old long corner days when they actually launch some things, they bring back some of the old ones as well. Check out what you can get at AppSumo for personal or business use. Most of these, like I said, are one-time buys. So for $99, you can get something that you may end up paying $75 a month for as a subscription. Trust me, that's a big win. This is the conversationproject.com/AppSumo. This is the conversationproject.com/AppSumo. This is the conversationproject.com/AppSumo. This is an affiliate link, so we do get a little bit of cutback from this, but that is for the common good, keeping us going here, and the common good for you at AppSumo. Now, let's talk about us, specifically us in the Conversation Project. Things we do at the Conversation Project are vast and mighty, and we do them for you. The fun part of doing this is I get a chance to reach out and interact with various people, from regular normal people to people who you might say have some stature, and just to get a read on how they are interacting with the world. We talk about them some, we talk about you some, but we also get a chance to see what you think about in these conversational news things. We have other conversational news things on the weekend. We put out one called the weekend wrap up, which is the top 10 by the numbers, the top 10 data driven stories that are out there. The conversation interviews, where we interview somebody who's interesting and see what they think about themselves and the news going on in that time frame. And of course, we're going to have the You're Welcome podcast, where we're going to bring out some of the more controversial things. And I'm going to say out loud some of the things that you wish that you could be saying, even if I don't agree with it or not. Essentially making sure that the contrarian version, sometimes the really evil, nasty versions of bits and pieces, are being said, what people really want to say about things in that podcast. Check those out. And also check out what other places you can find us online. Sign up for our newsletter so you can get just the words. Sign up for the podcast so you just get the words. Find all the ways you can find us at this. It's a conversationproject.com. Stop by the partnerships page if you feel we're doing something that's a big help to you in content, in information. See, there's some ways we can partner up and help do better stuff together forever. So birthdays for today, starting off with that. January 5th birthdays. We have Robert Duvall turning 92 years old. Robert Duvall has a very distinguished and very big portfolio of stuff he's done. But of course, we love him. I love him from way back from The Godfather. Giving ups to Your Ship's Bartender. Get back in the frame a little bit. Your Ship's Bartender. No, I'm sorry. I totally screwed it up. Ted Lange. Yeah, Ted Lange, Your Ship's Bartender, Isaac, is 75 years old on the day. I don't know where I brain farted for a second, but Ted Lange is your bartender. I guess I got him confused with the other guy, the show killer. Lost on that one, but he is one of the more memorable members of the Love Boat. Ted Lange, Your Ship's Bartender, Isaac, along with all the great folks. I know that there's a new Love Boat of some sort that's a reality show going on. That's just people shacking up, but this was anthology TV. Every week there were 2 or 3 stories entwined on the ship, the Pacific Princess, plus the interactions of the staff, Gopher and Julie and the captain and the doc and all those guys like that. Love me some Ted Lange. Also, Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown is a name that gets thrown around a lot because he's Clancy Brown. He's in all sort of things. You may not know him until you see him. It's like, yeah, I know that guy. He's probably Clancy Brown. He is actually 64 years old on the day. Sorry, I got stumbled on the Isaac thing. I don't know what happened. Yeah. So one last thing going out the door. Demand for romance novels was up 51% in 2022, with 32.3 million sold through early December. Book publishers had two bumper years in 2020 and 2021 as books filled in pandemic era gaps in time. I guess a lot of people are kind of horny, to be honest. But publishing is set to see sales drop 7% in 2022. This hasn't happened in romance, though, as the genre has that makes up about 25% of the fiction market has grown thanks to interest on social media and superstar authors. The last time I really had a big sort of thing for romance novels was literally in high school, like literally 30 years ago. Because back then in the day, the girls actually carried around books, the romance novels, actual physical books. And, between classes, that was their jam. I actually wrote a romance novel. I wrote a short one, and we put in characters, people from our classmates, and it was hilarious. I don't know where that one is, somewhere in the rat's nest of stuff in the garage and somewhere on the digital file that I can't remember back in storage someplace. But it was hilarious thing to do at the time. We put a good friend Brian as the super duper handsome sexy dude, and everybody thought he was it was a hoot. But you don't want to read my romance novel because it's horrible. You want to go out and get something that's good, apparently. And apparently, romance is keeping the book business alive. As is said in the work, they're expecting 7% drop in publishing, period, because people can go do stuff and touch each other again. Apparently, they still want to not do stuff and not touch each other while reading romance novels at home. And that is the show for today. Today has been, or show wise at least, Thursday, the 5th of January, 2023. It's still plenty of that time left as I'm speaking this live now, but maybe you're watching this in the replay or listening to the podcast. So that time has gone forward. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne. Thank you so much for joining us for the ride that is Things You Might Have Heard. Make sure you stop by the feed so you can help us vote in the stories that need to be talked about because you said so. And make sure you're staying, see if I can do this with Mike in new position, staying hydrated. Oh, that works. Staying limber and staying on task for all the grand things you need to do going forward. Have a great Thursday. The first full week of the year, pretty much because the year started on Sunday. But the first full week of the year is going pretty swimmingly so far. Nothing major in the world of events, other than Kevin McCarthy not getting a chance to get his job. But there's that. We'll keep up the news stories going on. Keep up the feed. See what you see. That's what you like. See what you don't like. Let me know. And just thank you.